one of the challenges I've had in the last 10 years is people have told me, Mark, you're not scalable. You have this intuition, you have this empathy, and other people can't do what you do. Even though your books are great, you're going to have to be there to do it. So in the last 10 years, I've been coming up with Lego-like blocks, steps that anyone can follow. The first step is you have to say to yourself, focus. And focus means you need to consciously step away from, I'm going to give a solution to this person, I'm going to give them advice, I'm going to tell them what to do. So focus means focus your intention on being present. And what present means is the other person feels that you're not AWOL, that you're not intellectual, that you're not lecturing them, which they don't want. So the first thing is focus. The second step is notice. And notice is different than looking, watching, and seeing. You know, when you notice, you're connected with what you're noticing. Like if in our interview, if I just looked, watched, and see, I saw that you were wearing glasses somewhat similar to mine. But if I notice them, I'm noticing that they're different from my glasses. I'm noticing that the frame is slightly different, and so as I notice it, I'm connected with your glasses and even your eyes behind it. So I had a mentor named Warren Venice. He was a big leadership guy at USC, and one of his favorite pieces of advice is be a first-class noticer. And so you start to notice what the other person's saying and maybe how they look. And so what you want to notice is 4 things. You want to notice hyperbole, which is horrendous, awful. They're not going to say amazing because you're dealing with stressed out, but notice hyperbole, notice inflection, can't do this anymore, can't keep doing this anymore. And my students of this who love this, notice adjectives and adverbs, because an adjective embellishes a noun, an adverb embellishes a verb. So hyperbole, inflection, adjectives, and adverbs all have emotional juice on them. So you're going to notice those things. So we have focus, notice, and the next step is be curious. So be curious about those words. Hyperbole, inflection, adjectives, and adverbs. Okay? So you notice those things, and then you have to be in a state of curiosity about those. And then the next step is ask. You can even say, I couldn't help but notice, that you talked about something being horrendous. And so you ask, and then they talk more about it. And what you'll notice is they start to open up even more. I couldn't help but notice, but when you mentioned this, you said it was horrendous. Can you say more about that? That's the asking. Then the next step is go deeper. And so when you go deeper, you focus on those 4 things, and without getting into a sentence, if they use another word like really awful or really horrendous in their explanation, you go, say more about really awful. Say more about really horrendous. So as you go deeper, they're opening up even more and more and more. So you reiterate those things, and at the end of it, you say, what I've heard is when I said, say more about the really awful, this is what you said. And it's interesting, as you reiterate, they're going, and they're leaning into the conversation. You're just replaying what they said, and it's going deeper, and they're going, because what they're feeling is, wow, you really listened. And also, when you do this correctly, they're going to cry, and you're not making them cry. The crying is the pus coming out of the wound. You're letting them cry. And it's not a negative. And by the way, if you do this, I mean, you may start to tear up and not even know what you're crying about, but what's happening is you're resonating with the deep pain that your child's in.